President-elect Trump announcing his new pick for Attorney General hours after Matt Gaetz withdrew from consideration. Megan Cassella joins us now from West Palm Beach. Good morning, Megan.
Hey, good morning, Joe. You're exactly right. Still a lot up in the air down here, but at least one new name becoming official overnight, with Trump saying that he will tap Pam Bondi, former Florida Attorney General, to be his next pick to lead the Justice Department, of course, elevating her to be the nation's top law enforcement officer if she does get confirmed. And in Trump's world, Bondi is about as loyal as they come. She was on his first impeachment defense team in 2020. Later that same year, part of the team that helped push to overturn the election results. So we'll see if any of that comes up in her confirmation process in the Senate. But her pick, of course, coming just hours, as you said, after Matt Gaetz withdrew his name from consideration, Trump's first pick to be AG. It was always clear that Gaetz was going to have some trouble in the Senate getting confirmed after he had been under investigation over the past couple of years for allegations by the House Ethics Committee, allegations of sex trafficking and having sex with a minor. So as we spoke about yesterday, he had spent Wednesday meeting with senators, and then on Thursday said it became clear that his nomination and his confirmation was becoming a distraction to the transition, and that there was no need for what he called a needlessly protracted Washington scuffle over this. So Gaetz out, Bondi in, and then just to state the obvious, guys, we are, of course, continuing to wait down here for a Treasury Secretary nominee. We continue to think that the short list is, as we've been talking about, the four men we've been talking about all week, but we know that Trump wrapped up his interviews with each of them on Wednesday, which is why we thought the pick was imminent yesterday. And I just have to say, guys, that the longer that we wait, the more time goes by, the more speculation we're hearing that Trump might not be satisfied with any of these candidates, and he might be starting to look elsewhere. Guys?
Yeah, I don't know if we have any more clarity on the original idea that Matt Gaetz would make a good Attorney General, because Pam Bondi was down there. She was an Attorney General. I mean, I'm not saying, that necessarily Trump wants to pick a woman, but she was a woman. I mean, it was such an obvious first pick. Instead, I don't know what what was it all about? Was there really a method to the madness that maybe it's easier now, and you think, wow, Pam Bondi looks amazing compared to Matt Gaetz, but I don't understand why this wasn't the first pick. She's a total loyalist. It just seems like a much more logical, and there would have been a lot less political capital spent right from the very beginning if she was the first pick.
I agree with you. That was my first reaction, was why wasn't Bondi in the first round? The reporting that we have, that we know about, is that Trump had started to do interviews for Attorney General and wasn't satisfied with anyone that he had talked to. But we don't know that Pam Bondi was on that list initially. And I'm with you. I'm not sure why. Then he had that plane ride with Matt Gaetz where he was convinced that Gaetz would be the right pick and made the announcement really on a whim, or really quite quickly. It was clearly not something that had been vetted, at least with Capitol Hill. It came as a surprise to everybody there. So we don't know exactly what went behind that. But, we've heard a lot of questions of why would Trump spend so much political capital on that so quickly. Right. When you say a method to the madness, I know there's speculation that did he go with Gaetz first so that other picks like Bondi and others might look better by comparison. We don't have any reason to know that, but it's out there.
I said that last night with my guys. Like hit your head against the wall because it feels so good when you stop. It's like, oh my God, it's not Matt Gaetz. Do we know? Megan, I'm confused. So he resigned from the 118th Congress. He was elected to the 119th. But he has said, I think, that he resigned his seat. I don't think he could just show up. There have to be a special election. And I think he stated he is finished with Congress. And then I can't imagine Ron DeSantis. No way. Makes Matt Gaetz senator. I don't think. I mean, I can't speak for him. But that's for Marco Rubio, who's going to be Treasury Secretary. What are you hearing about any of those things?
Right, Marco Rubio to Secretary of State. No, I agree with you. There's still a lot of speculation out there on this. Some eagle-eyed analysts, the commentary that I've seen so far is that Gaetz did say at some point in his initial statement that he was not planning to return to the 119th Congress next year. I think if he didn't say that he could have gone back in January despite withdrawing from the current Congress. But the speculation and the expectation, I think now, is that he also won't go back in January, which, as you say, will mean a special election down there and potentially a small gap tap with an open seat in Florida, even though I don't think there's any question that a Republican will ultimately fill that seat. It might be empty for a little while. And then the Senate seat also will be empty for a little while. DeSantis gets to choose who to pick. So much speculation already as to who he might appoint. I know Laura Trump, the president's daughter-in-law, has been at the top of a lot of those, at the center of a lot of those discussions. But again, we just don't know yet.